In today's video, we're going to have a look at some of the best builds that you can take into this week's brand new Tera Raid Spotlight event featuring Armarouge and Ceruledge. But before we get into today's video, please subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can always unsubscribe later if you'd like to. So starting on the 3rd of February, we featured a video yesterday on the channel going over all of the details for the brand new Tera Raid Spotlight event that will be happening this week, which will be featuring the version exclusives Armarouge for Pokemon Scarlet and Ceruledge for Pokemon Violet. And in that video, I did say if you'd like to see some builds that would make going into this raid a little bit easier, some dedicated builds for these specific Pokemon, then let me know, and you did. So here we are with today's video. Now, before we get specifically into the meat and bones of the builds that I've picked out for this raid event, we can have a look and reference what these Tera Raids are going to typically look like this weekend from the current 5-star raids that we already have in game. Obviously, these are just a reference, so it isn't any guarantee that they're going to be exactly the same as this, but like I say, it gives us some reference to an idea behind what movesets they're going to have and typically things that we can expect. Level 75 is going to be the level of the Pokemon that you're going in against these 5-star raids, and Armarouge is probably going to have its hidden ability as well as its base ability. So obviously that flash fire is going to be one of the options, and then weak armor is the other one. The moves that they're typically going to have, Armarouge going to have that armor cannon, powerful fire type attacking move, psychic as well, and then Nightshade, Will-O-Wisp, Sunny Day as additional move, and then Calm Mind as well, something to watch out for. Typically, these are not going to be as difficult as your 7-star raid events that we've had, like the Greninja, Cinderace, and Charizard. They're going to be a lot easier to manage, but it's good to just have a look at these options. You're going to have Ceruledge there as well. Again, the same with the abilities, probably going to have access to the hidden ability as well as its base ability. Bitter Blade going to be a staple on this set. Going to have Shadow Claw, Psycho Cut, Will-O-Wisp, Sunny Day, and then its boosting option, if it does have one, is going to be Swords Dance. So it gives you an idea of the attacks that you're going to expect. The Tera types are going to be random for these events, so expect to come up against a bunch of different Tera type Pokemon, but these are predominantly the moves that they're going to have. No Tera Blast anywhere on these sets to be seen, and I wouldn't have thought they would have Tera Blast. So really, when you are building a Pokemon going into these events, you're going to want to look at the move options that they've got and then build something around that that's going to be able to resist these attacks, give you an easy time, and pretty much cover bases with a wide variety of typings as well. So jumping into game, these are the 3 Pokemon if you are wanting to get dedicated builds for this weekend to make these raids super easy to do, whether you're doing them in your copy of the game or you're going online to do the opposite version exclusive from people that are hosting those. I think all 3 of these Pokemon cover the bases pretty nicely. Now, the top of my list is going to be Houndoom for a number of reasons. It's got that Dark and Fire typing, which definitely helps it out. The Fire typing, not so much, but the fact that it does have the ability Flash Fire really makes it immune to any sort of fire attacks that the Armarouge or the Ceruledge can throw out at it. It's obviously got that Dark typing. It's going to be immune to any Psychic type attacks from the Armarouge, and it's going to resist any Ghost type attacks from the Ceruledge. Not going to be able to get burnt, which both of them seem to have access to Will-O-Wisp, and it seems to be a common option on there as well. So Houndoom, all in all, feels like a very good Pokemon to bring against both these Pokemon. Obviously, when we are talking about them having a variety of different Tera types, you're going to have moves that kind of hit across the board for neutral damage at least. And I feel like between Dark Pulse and Hyper Voice, you've got good coverage for whatever Tera type you're going in against. Obviously, you're not wanting to rely on a fire type attack on your Houndoom because of the Flash Fire ability that would be present on either of these Pokemon. You've got Taunt there to stop the initial setup from Armarouge or Ceruledge, the Calm Mind or the Swords Dance. Got Nasty Plot, which helps you boost your attack up, and then Hyper Voice if it is more preferable to use depending on the Tera type that you're going up against, or Dark Pulse, which is going to be your stab attack, your same type attack bonus, which if they are in their base types, either, you know, the Psychic or they've got that Ghost typing as their Tera form, then the Dark Pulse is going to be extremely good against both of these Pokemon. Now, you can catch a Houndour super easy next to Pokepath at the beginning of the game. I actually went out earlier and got myself a shiny one, super nice and easy to do. Got it in the Moon Ball there, but the item that we're choosing for this build is going to be Shell Bell, because otherwise Houndoom doesn't really have any good form of recovery. You'd be relying on the Cheers then. So at least with Shell Bell, when you do some big damage to these Pokemon, you're going to get that recovery. Just extends longevity, especially taking advantage after you've used those nasty plot boosts. We've got an EV spread of 252 HP, 252 attack with a modest nature on there as well. And like we've already mentioned, Taunt, Nasty Plot, Hyper Voice, and Dark Pulse are the move options on it, with a Dark Tera type, which I feel like is probably the best Tera type to have on Houndoom, because you're kind of, the Dark typing is really what you're going into this raid with. The Flash Fire there, part of the Fire typing, is just a bonus on the Houndoom, just gives you that immunity, like we've mentioned already, to those Fire type attacks that could come out from your opponent. So Houndoom, like I say, it is going to be level 100. Don't forget that. It is hyper trained as well, so I have bottle capped all of its stats except its attack, because that's an irrelevant stat, as well as those EVs. But I think top pick going in this weekend, and we'll do a good job solo or supporting players online as well. My next pick, if you don't fancy using Houndoom, which another Pokemon I do feel like will do a very good job in these raids, is Farigiraf. It is a normal and psychic type. For reasons alone, it is going to resist a lot of the main attacks that are coming out from Armarouge Ceruledge. You're going to resist the psychic type attacks, being a psychic type yourself. You're going to be immune to the ghost typing because of your normal typing, and you have a lot of bulk as well to allow you to take those fire type attacks, and you're not really going to be worried about Will-O-Wisp because you're mainly relying on your special attacking stat anyway. We've went with the Shell Bell again, nice form of recovery when you've got attacks off with your Farigiraf. We've went for a Tera type normal on this one, but it can be really anything that you want. I just want more power from our Hyper Voice when we do Terrasilize in battle. The ability is not really important on the Farigiraf. If you're stuck for an ability or getting an ability patch or a capsule to change that, I've got Armor Tail in this because it is just generally the best ability on Farigiraf. But the moveset, more importantly than anything else, is going to be skill swap, because if they have got the Flash Fire, first turn, you can take that away from them and you've got it, and then you've got that immunity to any of their fire type attacks for the rest of the battle, which is super useful. Nasty Plot, again, a bit like the Houndoom, boosting our special attack up so we hit harder. Hyper Voice, going to be something that we're going to be using predominantly, not against Ceruledge. Obviously, if it has got that ghost Tera typing, they'll be immune to it, so you don't want to be relying on that. But then you have the Shadow Ball as the alternative option that you can hit them for very good damage with. Again, gives you nice coverage over pretty much everything, the Hyper Voice and the Shadow Ball, so you're pretty safe with this moveset, and it does a nice job. We've got a Quiet Nature on it, but you could go modest. This was a Trick Room build that I had that I've turned into a Raid Mon, so anything boosting special attack and ignoring the attack or the speed kind of works for Farigiraf in this Raid build. Now for EV spread, I would say just go down a simple route for this one. These are 5-star raids, so you don't need to do anything fancy. I would go 252 HP, 252 attack. I have a slightly different EV build here, but again, this is more dedicated for competitive play that I haven't changed the EV spread, but it will do a fine job. Like I say, I think if you are building this from scratch, just go 252 HP, 252 special attack, and then dump anything into probably the special defense that's remaining, the 6 that you've got left over. Again, it is hyper trained as well, and it is level 100 just to make it a lot easier going in against these Pokemon. And the final one, for those of you that want a supporting option and maybe something just a little bit more different, it is Umbreon. It can be a very good Pokemon to take online, support friends with, and it will do a job against all of these Pokemon. Again, a Dark type, Dark Tera typing. We've got the leftovers option on the Umbreon here, and it is going to have a moveset of Moonlight for recovery, Screech to lower defense on the opposing Pokemon by 2 stages every time you use it, Skill Swap again to disrupt the ability of the Ceruledge or Armarouge by taking that Flash Fire. You get it, you get that immunity to fire by doing it, and then Foul Play to play off, especially into that Ceruledge that's going to use Swords Dance. You're going to really take advantage of that, hit harder, because Foul Play's damage is based off your opponent's attacking stat, which makes it quite nice, and the Screech has quite a nice complement there as well with it. So synchronize the ability there. It could be in a focus if you wanted, but it doesn't really make too much difference. The EV spread on this one is 252 HP, 252 defense, or you could do a defense split across defense and special defense as well there. We've got a bold nature on this one, but again, it doesn't really matter too much because both Ceruledge and Armarouge are kind of a special and a physical attacker, a spread if you're going up against them, a split across the special defense and defense would probably be more optimal. And if you want to boost any of the defenses, it's going to be more optimal to boost your special defense. So something like a calm nature here would be better, because the base stat total of that special defense stat on Umbreon is the highest overall. You want to be boosting that out of everything else. So predominantly that would be what I would suggest, although you can go with the build that we've got here because it will work fine. And this one is just to be a bit more of a Pokemon that you can take online and use to support friends, as well as have a good job doing it solo in game if you like, if Umbreon's your favorite Pokemon. But like I say, I think the Houndoom is probably the most optimal going into this weekend. And how often do we get to use Houndoom as well? So it's a really nice way for us to take it, use it, a cool Pokemon that doesn't get so much love, and I think it's going to do really well this weekend. So in game as well, I have managed to find myself a 5-star Armarouge raid, so we're going to go in against it right now and show you how the Houndoom can perform against the Armarouge, and it is a flying Tera type. So random Tera type as well, which will kind of show the example, hopefully working pretty well. Right, so here we go against the Armarouge. So this is pretty much going to be a little bit of a preview. I wouldn't have thought the actual 5-star Spotlight event will be much different from this one. We'll start off like I would do in the Spotlight one. We'll go for the Taunt. We will stop Armarouge setting up any of those Calm Minds that it can do to get a bit out of control. Going straight for that Armor Cannon, boosting our Flash Fire. So showing already how useful having that ability is, and I don't suppose this one's going to be too difficult. Armarouge Ceruledge aren't really renowned for having the best defenses. They are very good offensively, but they're not like glass cannons where they're just going to get taken down super easy. But the fact is they aren't going to be massively difficult to deal with. And if you have been doing a lot of the 7-star raid events recently, you're going to have a pretty easy time coming into this. But these specific builds will make it a lot easier, especially if you're new to raids and things like that. We've used 2 nasty plots. I think a Dog Pulse now is going to be more than enough. Ooh, not quite, because we haven't got that weakness, of course. But you can see the Shell Bell there really coming in handy. And Armarouge will throw its shield up. But like I said, these are not going to be too difficult to take advantage of. The nice thing about the Spotlight Tera raids is you normally get more shards and extra item drops, although you do lose the fact that you could get potentially things like Herba Mystica and stuff from that there. And you can see how useful something like the Taunt is going into these matches. Right, we'll take this last one, and I think it's fainted there from that last attack, which it has. So there we go. Yeah, nice and easy. Didn't take too long at all. Houndoom doing a really good job. I'm excited to actually use it this weekend in these Spotlight Teras. I'm not going to catch it because I'll just wait and get one this weekend, of course, and then jump online and get a Ceruledge as well, which is a nice way for us to be able to complete our Pokedexes. But you can see here, I think from the item drops that we're getting here, it'll be very similar to the ones that we're going to get from the 5-star event raids, but they will slightly differ, of course, as well. So that is everything that I wanted to cover in today's video, friends. I hope you have found it useful. I hope the builds are something that are some use to you, and if you do use them this weekend, please let me know down in the comment section below. I would really love to hear if you put these together and you've had a lot of success with them going in against these Pokemon. I do feel like when I've looked at the options that you've got going into these events, these are probably the best ones that you can go in against, disrupting with things like Taunt, with the skill swap as well. Really nice options, and then having that dark coverage for both types, either be the Psychic or the Ghost, and then covering outside of that with the different Tera types that they can have, are going to be good options going into this event Spotlight. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. If you've enjoyed the video, it has been useful, please drop a like. It does really help out the channel. If you're new around here, do hit that subscribe button not to miss any of our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet content, and I'll see you all in another video very soon. So until then, friends, take care of yourselves as always, and bye bye.